Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're tackling something really central to all our lives, building strong family bonds, and just as importantly, a healthy relationship with ourselves.
Absolutely. It's fundamental stuff.
Yeah.
And it's fascinating how deeply connected those two areas are.
Right. How the security you feel inside often shows up in your relationships, and how support from others really impacts your inner world.
Exactly. It's a two-way street, definitely.
So in this deep dive, we're using our source material to, unpack what really makes emotional closeness tick, how to communicate better with people you care about, and also this crucial practice of self-care. The mission for you, listening in, is hopefully to walk away with a clearer idea of how to deepen those bonds with others and, importantly, with yourself.
Sounds good. Where should we start? Family.
Yeah, let's dive straight into family. And when we say family, the material we looked at is pretty broad, isn't it?
It really is. It's not just, the traditional blood relatives idea. It's much more inclusive.
So close friends could be family.
Yeah.
Chosen family.
Definitely. Anyone who gives you that sense of belonging, that feeling of being home, essentially. That's the core idea.
Okay. And the bedrock of these strong connections, whatever form they take, seems to be this thing called emotional closeness. What does that actually mean?
Well, at its heart, it's about feeling safe. Really safe. Knowing you're supported, understood, that people have your back.
That makes sense. It's that security that lets you be, you.
Precisely. It allows for that authentic connection to actually grow. Like having an anchor, someone solid when things get rough.
That's a great way to put it. And our sources mention some key ingredients, sort of a vocabulary for this closeness.
Yeah, there are a few core concepts. First, trust. That basic belief that someone's reliable, that they'll support you.
And that doesn't just happen overnight, I guess.
No, not at all. Relationship psychology shows it's built over time through consistent positive interactions, really. Then there's vulnerability.
The tricky one.
Yeah, it can be. But it's so vital. Sharing how you actually feel, even the messy stuff.
And quality time. That comes up a lot, too.
It does. Those dedicated moments together, being fully present, not just physically in the same room.
Right, putting the phone away.
Exactly. And having a support system, knowing who you can turn to. And importantly, conflict resolution. How you handle disagreements healthily.
Because disagreements will happen.
Oh, absolutely. Finding constructive ways through them is key to keeping that closeness long term.
These really do feel like building blocks. There was that small conversation snippet in the material, wasn't there, between a mother and daughter?
Yes, that was a really nice illustration. Simple, but effective. The mother starts gently, "Hey, honey, you've been quiet lately. Everything okay?"
Just opens the door, doesn't it? Shows she's noticed, shows she cares.
Exactly, an invitation. And the daughter's reply, hesitant at first,
Yeah,
just stressed with school, didn't want to bother you. That's a little moment of vulnerability right there.
even though she's a bit guarded initially.
But the mother's response is key. "You never bother me. I'm always here to listen, want to talk." That creates emotional safety.
It says, it's okay, you can share this. I won't judge, you're not a burden.
Precisely. That reassurance is just, it's everything for emotional closeness. It builds that safe space. The source talks about a space where you can speak your truth without fear.
So important. Okay, so how can we, actively cultivate more of this in our own families, however we define them? What are the practical things?
Well, number one is probably active listening. And that's more than just not talking.
Right. It's actually paying attention.
Fully paying attention, letting them finish, thinking about your response, showing you've actually heard them, not just waiting for your turn.
Like maybe reflecting back what they said?
Yeah, reflective listening is a great technique. Summarizing to make sure you understood correctly so it sounds like you're feeling, that kind of thing.
Makes people feel genuinely heard. What else?
Sharing appreciation. Sounds simple, maybe, but actually saying what you value in someone, that's powerful.
Making the positive explicit.
Yes. And maybe counterintuitively, setting boundaries. With love, though.
Boundaries with love. Explain that a bit more. How does that work?
Well, it's not about building walls. Healthy boundaries actually protect the relationship. They make sure everyone's needs and limits are respected.
So you explain them kindly?
Exactly. Clearly and kindly. It prevents resentment building up, fosters respect, and then, of course, quality time again.
And you said earlier, it's not about quantity necessarily.
No, it's about focus. Even short bursts of truly present, distraction-free time can make a huge difference. Eye contact, real engagement.
Okay. And the last one you mentioned, apologizing and forgiving.
Yes, crucial. Because, like I said, conflict is inevitable.
Things go wrong, feelings get hurt.
Right. So being able to say, I messed up, I'm sorry, sincerely, and also being able to forgive when you've been hurt, that's vital for repair.
Grace.
Grace is a perfect word for it. As the material suggests, it goes a very long way in strengthening those bonds.
This is all incredibly helpful. But it's also crucial, and our sources highlight this, that not everyone has that picture-perfect, supportive family of origin.
That's such an important point, yeah. For some people, their biological family just isn't that source of safety or support, and that's okay.
So what then?
Then, the choice to consciously build those close, supportive connections with other people, friends, mentors, chosen family, becomes really significant.
It's about the connection itself, not just blood ties.
Absolutely. Love, support, belonging. That's what defines family, ultimately.
Beautifully said. Okay, so we've covered some really key ground on connecting with others. Let's shift focus now inward to that relationship with ourselves.
Yes. Arguably the most constant relationship we have.
Yeah.
And it deeply affects everything else.
It really does. Our internal world colors how we see everything, how we interact with everyone. So building a healthy relationship with yourself seems fundamental.
Completely fundamental for well-being, for resilience, for just navigating life.
So what does that look like? A healthy self-relationship? What are the components?
Well, there are several interconnected parts. Self-awareness is maybe the starting point. Understanding your emotions, what triggers them, just being tuned in without judging yourself for feeling things.
Knowing yourself, basically.
Knowing yourself, yeah. Then self-respect follows naturally from that treating yourself with kindness, with dignity, like you would a good friend.
Which we often don't do, right?
Sadly, often not. Then there's self-care, those concrete actions you take mentally, physically, emotionally to support your well-being.
And self-compassion, that seems really key too.
Hugely key. Being gentle with yourself, especially when you mess up or you're struggling, giving yourself that same understanding you'd give others.
And research actually backs this up, doesn't it? That self-compassion is linked to resilience.
It really is. Sometimes even more so than just having high self-esteem. It's about how you treat yourself when things aren't going well.
Fascinating. Okay, so just like with external relationships, there's kind of a vocabulary for this inner work too, for self-care.
Yes, definitely. Think about words like recharge. Actively taking time to rest and replenish your energy. Sleep, quiet time, hobbies, whatever fills your tank.
The opposite being burnout, presumably.
Exactly. That state of complete exhaustion, physical, emotional, mental, from too much stress for too long. It often involves feeling drained, cynical, and ineffective.
Sounds draining. Boundaries come in here too, right?
Absolutely critical for self-care. Setting limits to protect your energy, your peace, your time. Affirmations are another tool.
Positive self-statements.
Yeah, deliberately using positive statements about yourself to counter negative thought patterns. And mindfulness.
Being present.
Being present in the moment, aware of your thoughts and feelings without getting swept away by judgment. Powerful for inner peace.
I like the idea of affirmations, like planting positive seeds. The material had that example of Michael talking to himself, didn't it? Practicing self-compassion.
It did, and it was quite revealing. He recognized he was exhausted, decided to rest, and told himself it was okay. That his well-being mattered.
Just a simple internal dialogue.
But a perfect example of self-compassion in action, acknowledging the need and giving himself permission to meet it.
It really does show how much harder we often are on ourselves. Like if a friend was that tired, we'd tell them to rest.
Immediately. We hold ourselves to these impossible standards sometimes. Constant productivity, no mistakes allowed.
So that harsh inner critic, learning to challenge that seems vital.
It's one of the most important parts of building that healthier relationship with yourself. Recognizing those critical voices and actively questioning them.
So how do we do that? What are some practical things we can try daily?
Well, consciously practicing kind self-talk is huge. Catching the negative thoughts, like the example in the sources, instead of, I'm so stupid when you make a mistake.
Yeah.
Shifting it to something like, okay, I made a mistake. It happens. What can I learn here? It's about understanding, not judgment.
Makes sense. What else? Breaks.
Taking breaks, absolutely essential. It's not lazy, it's necessary. Rest is productive. It recharges you.
It can feel counterintuitive though, can it? Like you should be pushing through?
It really can feel that way. But stepping away, even for short periods, actually boosts focus and creativity later. Plus, celebrating small wins.
Noticing the little successes along the way.
Exactly. We get so focused on the big goal, we forget to acknowledge the steps we took to get there. Pat yourself on the back for the small stuff.
It builds momentum, maybe.
Builds momentum, builds self-esteem. Also, setting goals aligned with your values, not just what you think you should do or what others expect.
Yeah, it feels more authentic.
It is. Directing your energy towards what truly matters to you. And finally, learning to say no.
Protecting your energy.
Protecting your energy, your time, your peace. Setting those boundaries without feeling overly guilty is self-respect in action.
These are all really empowering. And the sources mentioned that daily affirmation practice, too. Can you remind us of that one?
Yes, the specific one provided was, I'm doing my best. I deserve love, rest, and peace. I am allowed to take up space.
That's quite comprehensive, covers a lot.
It really does. Self-acceptance, worthiness, permission to prioritize your needs. It's powerful.
I can see how saying that, especially if you're used to being hard on yourself, might feel, well, weird at first, maybe even untrue.
Oh, absolutely. That's a very common reaction.
Yeah.
If your default is self-criticism, positive statements can feel foreign, even forced.
So what's the key then?
Consistency. Just keep practicing. Even if you don't fully believe it initially, the act of repeating it regularly can start to kind of rewire things, gently shifting your self-perception over time.
Like building a muscle.
Exactly like building muscle.
Huh?
It gets stronger and feels more natural with consistent, gentle effort.
Okay, so as we kind of wrap up this deep dive, it really seems like the foundations for strong relationships with others and with ourselves share a lot of common ground.
They absolutely do. Trust, respect, care, time. These are the essential ingredients across the board.
Both internally and externally.
Yes. And language, as our sources point out, is powerful for expressing love outwardly, but it really starts with how we talk to ourselves. That internal dialogue sets the tone.
That's a really potent thought. It just highlights how important it is to try and be as kind and understanding with ourselves as we try to be with the people we love.
Indeed. And remembering that this is all a journey. Growth takes time. Building relationships takes time. There will be bumps.
So patience is needed.
Patience and kindness towards yourself are crucial. Always remember you deserve deep, supportive connections with others and absolutely with yourself.
Such an important message. So for everyone listening, maybe the invitation today is to take just one small action, something intentional to nurture a key relationship.
And that includes the one with yourself. Reach out to someone, really listen, or take 5 minutes for some mindful self-compassion.
Every little bit counts.
Every single bit. Stay kind to yourselves, stay strong in your connections, keep exploring what brings you meaning.